Dragon Ball Project Multi was easily one of my favorite games to play during the year, and I am so excited to see this game come back in all of its glory. That being said, the devs put out a note where they talked about the game and a ton of different things like the insight, and overall it feels amazing to have this level of transparency here. Shout out to my boy Touche, bringing that transparency from the Legends team over here. That being said, we're going to talk about it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you subscribe and post down below what you guys think Project Multi will officially be called. It won't be called Project Multi indefinitely. At least I don't think so. But what do you think it'll officially be called when they finally get to that point? Post it down below. All right, so let's start things off by saying to all those who have participated in the beta test, thank you. With all the in-game and out-of-game feedback we received, there are loads to work on. In this letter, we would like to explain a few of our design philosophies as well as the direction for Project Multi will be going towards its release. But before going into details, let us preface this by saying this letter will be pretty long. Fun fact, it would be pretty funny if if they actually list the name of the game in here. Anyway, Project Multi was designed to provide the experience of freely controlling your beloved Dragon Ball characters whenever, with whomever, and whenever or wherever throughout the franchise's first team-focused multiplayer game. So the cool thing about this game is that, again, it is the first of its kind for Dragon Ball, and there seems to be a lot of love and care into this game. So that's another thing that I think is really awesome. If you don't know what Project Multi is, I'll leave a video of me playing the game with a few of my friends in the description so you can see how it works. It's basically a MOBA game. I know that can for some people be a turnoff, but it was tremendously fun to play. I think it's going to be really fun, like party game as well with friends as well. But head above that, or heads and shoulders above that, in my opinion, is the customization. I think this game has a world of customization. Now that Sparking Zero has come out, and actually Sparking Zero is a little bit underwhelming in regards to the customization, if I'm being honest. But I think this is going to be the game where it's like you want to see all your favorite characters and all their different costumes. They will give it to you in this game. That being said, not a shot at Sparking Zero, but I think, again, there could have been a lot more costumes for some of them characters. Anyway, moving on. So specifically, we aim to create a game where a fun competition could be had between any player, even with a bit of gap between their skills. Deep understanding of the game and practice will serve you well, but swaying game elements will ensure that each round will play out differently from the last. All of that in roughly 10 minutes for a satisfying experience without overstaying our welcome. The regional beta's purpose was to ensure that the above values could be properly felt, as well as other fidelities, including but not limited to network stress and in-game balancing. With that in mind, our conclusion for the 2-week tests are as follows. The positives, and by the way, you know what? I'll actually just show you gameplay on the screen. If you want to hear the commentary for it, check out the video in the description regardless. All right. High interest in future hero characters is a positive. General rules are not too confusing and easy to get into. The ease of control is a positive. Network latency was not detrimental to the overall experience. I didn't experience any lag. I don't really think I saw any lag. Isometric views did not diminish the value of the world of Dragon Ball. General aesthetics are in tune with the fan expectations, and demand for cosmetic items exceeded expectation. Yeah, people really want the cosmetics, the customization in this game, and this is going to be the game. In fact, it's going to be the most customizable Dragon Ball game that we've ever had, and it's not close. This is because you got to think about it. That's going to be one of the primary ways that they're going to try to get player engagement and probably generate revenue. I don't expect cosmetics. I don't think that they did to have any sort of stat bonuses to them, but they will definitely be going out of their way to put all these different cosmetics in this game. What I want to see is whether or not they'll do like what if cosmetics, or like different variations of cosmetics with characters we wouldn't really see all that often or haven't seen before. I wonder if they would go that far, but I don't know. The negatives. Certain game systems felt unrewarding. Oh yeah, that's pretty fair. Specific character roles, in particular tanks, outperformed others to an extreme degree. Yeah, looking at freaking Zamasu and Vegeta, and was Majin Buu a tank too? Man, the tanks were OP in that beta, man. Slightly confusing UI. Okay, I can say that. Friend/party system bug. There was a bug with being able to add friends. Lacking mobile tailored interface. I thought the interface did. Okay, I guess it depends who you ask. Crashes in high temperature hardware on mobile. Too many bots and not enough difference between rounds to warrant long-term replayability. That last one, that's just gonna be a thing when you know, when the roster increases, there was only so many characters that were playable, right? And people were gravitating towards the freaking tanks because everyone realized how OP they were, because they could basically never die and get kills. So our intention is to further strengthen the positives and solve the negatives to provide the experience we originally envisioned. At the same time, we hope to keep expectations of what's to come at launch at a realistic level so as to not cause any disappointments. The major changes. With that, here are some of our major changes and directions for the future of Project Multi. Grade Ape, matchmaking, hero characters, and game rules. So the Grade Ape, its original objective was to up the ante to accelerate the game and provide a chance for either team to win. Both objectives were accomplished, but the latter came at a detriment to the majority of players. As was our original design philosophy, the Great Ape will still maintain its function to encourage a climactic end of the round, but the boon it provided to it to its defeaters will be removed entirely. Oh, okay. So basically, if you beat the Great Ape, you were OP, too OP, and they are going to scale that back. I mean, that mechanic is there to give whoever defeats the Great Ape a chance to win the game, right? The Xenos start going crazy in your favor, all that stuff, right? So that mechanic is not unheard of. You know, Pokemon Unite, a game that's commonly compared to this one, has a similar mechanic too. But, you know, that being said, it is what it is. Matchmaking. In order to pleasantly continue playing multiplayer games, it's essential to shorten the matchmaking and loading times as much as possible. Let us admit that we overdid the tuning for this during the beta test, forcing the game client to instantly give up when looking for other players to match. Oh, so they were trying. That's why bots were there a lot, because this is simply our mistake. And although bots will not disappear entirely, matchmaking in general will be made better by launch. So they purposely turned this super fast to where, like, if it didn't find a player instantly, it gave up and just put a bot there. Okay, so yeah, they wanted to keep the time low, as you would imagine, but they just basically made it near instantaneous is what it looks like. Hero characters. Provide a chance for every one of our hero characters to shine. Are we calling them hero characters? Is that what they're called in the game? Because hero makes me think of good guys, but okay. We'll be making frequent balance changes, whether they directly... I lost. Okay, my screen kind of went dark there. Whether they directly or indirectly change how a specific hero behaves. One key point we hope players will understand with this is that not every character will perform perfectly in the same meta environment. They will always be certain heroes outperforming another in different scenarios, and we feel that's what will make this game fun and engaging. Our aim is to shift the spotlight from time to time onto different heroes to incentivize a variety of gameplay. That is not to say our beta test environment was perfect. On the note of hero characters, the shop level and hero coins are planned to be removed. Thank you! That was such a terrible system. To get heroes with that, it was just brutal, man. Instead, hero acquisition will be consolidated in the collection level rewards with a curated order of heroes available. Oh, okay. So instead, you're going to get the heroes when at the level that coordinates with that. So you can't go to the shop and then instantaneously unlock Zamasu or whatever, right? Like, they're going to change that. Okay. All right. So additional level rewards will be implemented for players to acquire them from. For those of you who may be worried the heroes in the farther ladders of collection level rewards may provide unfair advantages, we assure you that every hero will have its strengths and weaknesses. Fourth, the game rules. Although the specifics are still on the drawing boards, we have plans to implement a system of randomness to sway the outcome of a match to provide a certain degree of unpredictability. We do not wish for players to constantly be forced to perform optimally in the same fashion over and over again, nor do we want for players to feel their accomplishments in team fights to feel insignificant to the outcome of the round. We understand that the Great Ape was not optimal in that matter. Regardless, additional rules and tweaks are being worked on, and they will be disclosed in the coming months. In conclusion, our priority remains to provide long-term fun for all of those fans of Dragon Ball Project Multi. Although many of the design listed above may change at launch, we will put our effort to maintain transparency so that our players will understand our intent behind gameplay changes. Furthermore, any feedback will be greatly appreciated to make a better overall experience. We will look forward to seeing you again on the battlefield. All right. So it wasn't as long as they kind of said it would be. That's why I was like, I'm going to just put some gameplay so you guys aren't looking at me reading this the entire time. But they talk about several things that the community was pretty upset about. The Great Ape was super overpowered. I would be curious to see how it's handled. Matchmaking, yeah, there were bots and bots and bots, and bots should be expected if they're necessary. But it seems like the way that they told us it was working was that bots were determined necessary like I said earlier, probably near instantaneously. Like it probably went for 5 seconds and tried to find somebody. If it didn't find anybody, here's a bot, right? Because they wanted the matches to be quick and just pushed out there. And the AI on the bots, I would be curious to see if they tweak that, because the bots were really bad in my opinion. But that's typically the case with bots, right? Anyway, and then the last thing I kind of talked about here was the way that characters, well, they talked about more in the beginning, like the balance of characters. They wanted to change that, like tanks and stuff. We'll see what happens with that. They're going to constantly be tweaking the balance of characters. And they did throw out that caveat that while we're going to tweak this, don't expect your favorite character to always be super good, because they'll change how good they are in certain environments, which makes sense, right? It's a 4v4 game. The value of the characters will change as you go. But anyway, they talked about that, but they also talked about the acquisition of characters, which was another thing. It felt like in the beta, you had to be super locked in and playing pretty hard in order to get a character that you wanted. And it seems like they will be tweaking that as well. So that is everything. Let me know what you guys think. They didn't announce, again, like I said earlier, the official name for the game. They didn't announce when the game is to be expected. At this point, I'd say it's pretty safe that it's coming out next year. Hopefully Q1 of next year. If they announce, oh yeah, so it's right here. Scheduled for release in 2025. But they don't say when in 2025. I know for a fact this game has been in development for several years. But they want to get it right? They want to get this game right. They want to put it out and have it be something that's at least a near finished product. I mean, they'll always continue to give it live updates and add new game modes and things like that to the game as it goes. That's to be expected. But they want to have this game, you know, come out and be something that feels like a finished product. So I'm really excited about this. Like I said in the beginning, it feels like a lot of love and care, attention to detail is with this game. I think that Bandai as a company has learned over the last 10 or so years how to put out games. Hopefully they get it right with another game that they recently released. Sword Art Online has been in, they put that game out a year ago, and it's been in maintenance for a year for them to remake the game, basically. Not completely, but they took it down and they're putting it back up. So like they still have problems like that. Once upon a time they had a problem like that with One Piece Bounty Rush, etc. Where it was in maintenance for like 4 or 5 months, and then they brought it back as an entirely different looking game. It was pretty crazy. But it seems like they're really trying to give this one as much time as they can. I can't say the same about some of their console games. There was a lot of bugs and sparking as well. But I think with the mobile side, they're definitely trying. So, all right, not that they weren't for the other sides. Just want to make sure that we cover that. That being said, hope you all enjoyed. If you want to see the video that's been showing here with the full commentary, it should be on the screen, clickable. Thank you so much. And as we get more info on Project Multi, make sure that you guys come back here, because I'll be talking about it.